so far to harbor life. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand.
A quick context note. I am not yet back to a place where I can do regular uploads. The only option I currently have for internet is my phone's data plan, which I'll briefly use as a mobile hotspot to upload this video. There likely won't be another video for at least a month, but at least this is something. Thankfully, all of the resources I need to make it I acquired before moving to where I am now, so this was written, recorded, and edited completely offline. So, you read that title correctly. I was one of many people, including our friend Blue Earth Media, who provided a number of the resources you'll see today, channel link below, who helped expose some sort of fake verified Twitter account that was most likely employed by the Chinese Communist Party. Before we go any further, I just need to say, this video is not a rant against communism. I'm Canadian and you know us. We've got a lot of socialized elements to our government, and while they have their problems, they tend to work, at least for us. If this is a rant against anyone, it's one against social media giants, and Twitter in particular. These companies are running rampant with dangerous misinformation and allowing unrest to be stirred up with almost no control whatsoever. Half of the reason the current pandemic has lasted as long as it has is because of this kind of misinformation. Those in charge of Twitter and other platforms have done absolutely nothing to stop it, because it drives traffic to their websites and allows the rich to get richer. Someday very soon I suspect, there will come a reckoning. And we will all remember when Mussolini was strung up in front of a gas station for people to pelt rocks at his corpse. Most of you will likely remember what happened at the US Capitol building on April 2nd. A vehicle rammed into a barricade and two security officers, killing one, before the driver exited the vehicle, brandishing a knife, and was shot dead by the remaining officers. As usual, before any actual information had been released, the toxic cesspool that is verified Twitter began making claims about who was responsible and what their motives were, and the vast majority of them were completely wrong. However, one account in particular stood out. This one. At the time, the account was named Dr. Yalun Chen. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but also not sorry because it's not a real person, and had this image as a profile picture. Dr. Chen claimed that the attack was the result of pro-Trump insurrectionists attempting to repeat the events of January 6th. Not only was he wrong, but people began to notice something strange about this account. It was verified by Twitter, and if you're not sure what that means, then take a look at this video, yet it only had around 50 followers. This screenshot was taken shortly before the account was taken down, and even then, less than 1,000 followers on a verified account is very, very unusual. For reference, I have over 900 Twitter followers myself, but in the Twitterverse, I am a nobody, so I don't get a checkmark. Even more unusual is that the account was about a month old. People began to call out to Twitter support and Twitter verified, asking if the checkmarks were just being handed out to anyone these days. They received no response. Then the deep dive began. The first big hint was Dr. Chen's LinkedIn profile, which was quickly removed from his Twitter bio. First, Dr. Chen claimed to have worked for CNN as a freelance journalist. However, nobody was able to find a single article with his name attached. Not one. Very interesting. Time to dig a little deeper. Someone had the brilliant idea to search the internet for the text of his LinkedIn profile and quickly discovered this. It was an exact copy-paste from the profile of one Lei Zhang, this time I'm actually sorry if I mispronounced that, a medical student with Yale University. You might notice a couple other differences as well. Zhang's profile has over 500 connections, while Chen's has 2. Zhang's also has some kind of verification badge that Chen is lacking. Zhang's banner image also appears to be an aerial shot of an area of Beijing where she lives, while Chen's is a cartoon stock photo he pulled from Google. And the final nail in the coffin, if the copy-paste job wasn't enough evidence, Chen claims to live in the Bay Area of California while he works at the Hospital Santa Cruz. That might make sense at first, however, Hospital Santa Cruz isn't in California. It's in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Chen picked the name because he assumed it was located in Santa Cruz, California. It's not. After the fraudulent LinkedIn profile was exposed, Chen went scorched earth. He first removed the link to his profile, and then changed his name to remove the full first and last name Yalun Chen. Next, it was revealed that his banner image on Twitter was a stock photo from Shutterstock. He quickly removed that as well. Next came his profile image. Reverse image searches quickly revealed that the picture actually belonged to this man, a Korean doctor named J.Y. Lee. Dr. Chen then removed this image as well. At this point, his account was doomed. A verified account is required by Twitter's rules to use a real image of the person and use their real name. Dr. Chen was now doing neither. Arguably, he was never doing either. Before his account was, finally, suspended by Twitter, one last thing was noticed. The name Yalun Chen appears on an online list of over 500,000 known Chinese spies. Now, this is in no way conclusive, as the name isn't necessarily uncommon, and there is approximately 18% of Earth's entire population living in China. However, considering all of the other factors at play, it is very, very suspicious. So, what happened here? How did Twitter fail so spectacularly with this account? If you ask other people who have been trying to get their account verified, for instance Scott Manley, it is supposed to be an extremely rigorous process with a low chance of success unless you have certain connections within Twitter's employee base. In addition, due to that same employee base being very limited during the pandemic, Twitter recently announced that all verification submissions are currently closed. But this one got through. Somehow. Once again, I find myself asking that age-old question when it comes to big tech. Apathy or malice? The line between the two can blur very quickly. There was a time when the internet was very much the Wild West. There were almost no rules and no regulation, and it was filled with software cowboys doing whatever the hell they wanted to. You could go online looking for pictures of Star Wars or SpongeBob SquarePants, and instead you'd end up looking at a snuff film. Those days are now long gone, replaced with something far more dystopian. This isn't the last change the internet will go through. If events like the one we witnessed today continue, the anvil will drop. Someday. Right on the top of your head, Mr. Dorsey. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications. If you want to support me further, consider becoming a member or a patron, or checking out my merch or my Amazon links. Thank you, and I will see you over the curve, Space Cowboys.
In a vast cosmic arena. Our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some